you are either 21 or in your early 20s and you're watching this video and you feel like you have to have a life all figured out, you don't. Trust me, and I definitely didn't. I was in my early 20s, specifically 21. I was in my first long-term relationship, still living with my parents, trying to figure out classes, retaking. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career or my future. Fast forward 6 years, I am 27, happily single, living on my own. I'm a full-time data analyst. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things I seriously wish I knew and believed in my early 20s. Thing that I wish I knew in my early 20s was how to love others the way that they want to be loved. This idea came from this book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. In my 3rd relationship ever in my life, you know, I was taking a walk with my boyfriend at the time. He had just come home from a party. He looked pretty handsome. We were just taking a walk and out of nowhere he just asked me, so what do you think of my outfit? And I was like, your outfit? Well, you look good. What are you talking about? And then he's like, looked at me and he said, why didn't you just tell me that? Like, why don't you tell me that? He was always the type to me that always gave me compliments, always tell me I look cute, but I never reciprocated. The way that I showed my love to him was replying super fast whenever he texted me. Every time he wanted to go out, I would be like, okay, like I'm down, and I never said no. The way that I gave him love and the way that he wanted to receive love, a little bit off, a little bit. The thing I truly wish I knew in my early 20s is to love others the way that they want to be loved. His book, The 5 Love Languages, Dr. Chapman talks about this couple that comes to see him, who have this really frustrated husband who is telling him how he's mowing the lawn, how he is, you know, fixing her car. He's even willing to do the dishes. But even though he's doing all of these things, he's also confused because his wife is still unhappy. So Dr. Chapman turns to his wife and he asks her why she's unhappy. And so the man's wife starts telling Dr. Chapman how her husband doesn't compliment, he doesn't tell her he loves her or that he appreciates. And so there's a contrast in the way the guy is giving her love and the way that she is receiving love, and that's truly where the problem was. And so this lesson actually applies to every single relationships that we have, whether that's with our mom or our dad, our cousins, our friends. We have the type of friend that wants us to tell them they look good or they look cute or they look beautiful or handsome, or do we have the type of friend, you know, that like gifts and that's how they feel worthy or appreciated and loved, like gifts? Or do they like acts of service where you help them plan a party or clean up or whatever it is? So it's not about the way that we want to give love, it's about how the other person truly receives it. The next thing I truly wish I knew in my early 20s is to not be afraid of failure, but rather to embrace it. And this idea came from none other than Sara Blakely. And if you don't know who Sara Blakely is, she's the inventor of Spanx, which is a company that's worth $1.2 billion today and has a presence in over 50 different countries. And so when Sara Blakely was growing up, her father used to ask her this one question every time she came home from school, and that is, what did you fail at today? And he would literally get disappointed if she didn't have a good answer for that. When I was younger, I didn't even apply to positions or internships or roles I didn't feel qualified enough for. When I was in classrooms and I had a question, I didn't raise my hand because I didn't want it to be a silly or dumb question. If I had an answer to something, I didn't want to be wrong, so I wouldn't raise my hand. So I wish that when I was in my early 20s that I truly wasn't afraid to or ashamed to suck at something, to be told no, to be rejected, and that I went after the thing that I wanted and raised my hand and said the answer and applied to positions and talked to people. And I wish that I wasn't so afraid to fail. Sara Blakely's definition of failure is not trying. She says that she's not afraid to fail. She's afraid to not even try at all. And so that is definitely a takeaway that I wish I knew in my early 20s. And so as she got older and after she created her idea Spanx and needed to sell it to manufacturers, she got a rejection from nearly every single hosiery manufacturing company. Her story is of persistence. She sold it to family members. She cold called stores relentlessly, and this is her persistence and her relentlessness was what caused the company to succeed.